Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm joined by Joyce. Joyce, it's us after dark. Must see TV.
And on the longest day of the year,
Longest
except
day of the year. We're
dark.
recording this at night. That's why I'm in the dark here. Though I think the ring light that I have now is
it's a new
premium.
one because your old one broke, but it did not fall on your head.
It didn't fall on my head like Daniel Craig. It just broke completely. Joyce, I took a flight home yesterday from Italy.
I know, and you tried to Zoom from Istanbul.
So Istanbul, not the most probably amenable to a goofy podcast voice, I would guess, based on the amount of security agents in the airport. And then I got on the plane. I was like, oh, I'm going to get to do all this work. Wi-Fi is going to be great on this 10-hour flight. And that worked for a total of 2 minutes. So I got to watch a lot of movies. And one of them was No Time to Die. And that made me think of that.
Which
was what I thought of it.
I still haven't seen.
It's a pretty good movie. If you're on a flight, you need 3 hours to kill. What a great movie to watch.
Maybe I'll
Daniel
just
Craig.
So.
No, Joyce,
I have to go through life not seeing a Daniel Craig Bond. So
I can't believe it. You're missing out. He's so much fun. Joyce, this is
over. The era is over.
It's over. It doesn't matter anymore. This is the first time we've spoken since the Emmy ballots came out, Joyce, which means we have so much more to talk about now. I'm so excited.
I know, because we were really treading water for 2 months, literally. There was just talking about the same thing over and over again.
Really tough. But now we have so much to talk about. We have so we added new categories to the prediction center. We have a guest actor, an actress in a comedy and a drama and a limited series. I know you and I both have picks there. I refreshed all my picks, made a ton of changes. And I have so many thoughts about these ballots and the submissions. And we differ on a lot because we were talking about this earlier. And I'm like, I think a lot of these shows should have submitted different things.
I mean, you can say that for almost every single show, probably, but there are certain rules in place and strategy to think about.
I love the strategy, but I just think the strategy is, here's one. I don't want to go out of order, but I was just looking for the music categories, Joyce. You know how I love music. And I know you do as well. The after party in the outstanding original music and lyrics, our beloved after party, which we genuinely like and love all the people involved with it, because this is one we both did an interview for. So, you know, it's good. And you know, we're not on the take at all with this opinion, but they submitted Yasmer, obviously, for the songs. And the only one they submitted from that episode was Two Shots.
Yeah. They could have submitted all three, but
I'm glad they didn't submit all three, but I think Yeah, Sure, Whatever should have gotten in over Two Shots.
I think they submitted this one because it's the most dense.
It's great fun.
Yeah. And I also, you know, this is the one you took issue with a lyric, and you actually called it out to Jack Dolgen's face.
I love the lyric, but I just think it's not the West Wing after Aaron Sorkin left. Still good. Not as good as when Sorkin was there, but still good. I could see
Aaron Sorkin loved it because
he did love it because he would.
It's a compliment to him.
It was. If you saw our interview, Daniel Pemberton obviously did the music for the show, and he mentioned it to Sorkin while they were doing Being the Ricardos. Remember when Being the Ricardos came out like 40 years ago? That's how long ago
Nicole Kidman was going to win her second Oscar. Yeah,
I remember. And
happy belated birthday to Nicole Kidman. It was yesterday, so.
Yes, happy birthday. But yeah, no, Daniel Pemberton told Aaron Sorkin, and Aaron Sorkin apparently had a good chuckle at the idea of the West Wing being garbage after he left, but it was still good. Love the Santos stuff, as I said. Love Vinnick.
Glenn Close episode, The Supremes, up there, man.
Great stuff. But no, so that's an interesting thing. And like you said, it's all about strategy. You don't want to submit too many things. And like, you know, that is a good song. And it has both Ben Schwartz and Sam Richardson in there as lyricists, obviously, or singers. You know, they're in it, not lyricists, excuse me. So yeah, I mean, I understand it, but I think Yeah, Sure, Whatever is a better song.
I mean, I love all three of them. It's so hard. I was just listening to them again yesterday, obviously from my Ben Schwartz mix on Spotify. So
it's the best.
Yeah, I think, like I don't know if they would have gotten all three in had they submitted all three. I don't think so. So I think it's smart of them to just pick one. And this is also the first song in the episode. So
it's a great song, and it also reminds me of like it's very similar to a Lonely Island song, or like something you would imagine would be like an Emmy favorite. Certainly a little more like a Crazy Ex-Girlfriend style song, obviously too. So it makes sense that it's like kind of in there, but I just think Yeah, Sure, Whatever and people are watching this are like, yeah, sure, whatever, we don't care. But I think it's a good song. That's it. So that's the
all
idea.
three of them are great songs. So we
They're all
just need
three
to get
great.
this one in because this is it's one shot. One shot for two shots. So
I thought you get 2 shots, Joyce. As long
you
as
get two shots in life, but this is its one shot and an Emmy in music and lyrics.
So that's one of the ballots things. We'll talk a lot about the ballot choice, but let's do. We could go to we added these new predictions and we refreshed all our predictions, which is so much fun. Finally moved some things in, but we could start with, we want to do the guest actors, I think, and actresses. We start with comedy, Joyce. There's just a lot of people here. Here's who I came up with. You tell me what you think. What you got? I did this like, I wouldn't call it half-assed, but I would just say like, I just didn't put a lot of thought into it. I was like, this is what I think it should be, and this is what it's going to be. That's how I went with it. And these are not even in any particular order except for the first one. Sharon Stone, flight attendant, should win an Emmy. She's awesome on the flight attendant. Love her so much. I have Kelly Bishop from Mrs. Maisel, Laurie Metcalf from Hacks, Harriet Sanson Harris from Hacks, Ariana DeBose for SNL, and Jane Lynch from Only Murders.
Okay. I have Jane, Laurie. I have both Janes, Jane Lynch, Laurie Metcalf, Jane Addams, Harriet Sansom Harris, Sharon Stone, and Quinta Brunson from A Black Lady sketch show.
So you have you have 3 Hacks then.
I have 3 Hacks, yeah.
So you have Jane in there.
Hacks can make up this entire category because it's submitted 6 and there's 6 slots.
And yet, so Jane got in last year. I didn't really understand it last year. I definitely don't understand it this year. No offense, Jane Addams, who I think is a great actress. I just am like, of the Hacks actors, I think of the guest actresses, she's like probably my not least favorite. Well, yeah, I would not have her in. I would even put who was I just thinking of from Hacks? Oh, Susie Essman in before her. So I guess you're saying she would get in just because she got in last year, basically.
She got in last year, and I think she was only in one episode this season, the 6th episode, but I think this stuff, like the arc between her character and Ava, was really good. Like they did a lot
in the one
progressing
episode.
That relationship in just that one episode with them. So just the fact that she got in last year, I think helps her get back in this year. And then, yeah, I don't have her winning. So I have Jane Lynch winning.
Jane Lynch is so good on Only Murders.
I know. And she's back in season 2, which is premiering next week.
And that'll help. But I just think Sharon Stone I thought Sharon Stone she's like a revelation on Flight Attendant.
She's really good. I just don't know how Flight Attendant will do. So I have her getting in. So I don't know if like she'll actually win it. Because they can be so lazy in the guest categories. Like, and they're just voting not necessarily for the best performance, obviously, but like their favorite show or their favorite people.
So that's what I was. That would be why Jane Lynch would probably win then, because she's like a favorite and the show is more beloved probably than Flight Attendant. But man, Sharon Stone rules. And this is a spoiler alert, Joyce, for our other content that we'll do this week. We're going to do the 1993 Oscars, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to be talking a lot about Sharon Stone when we do that because she rules. It's a great year for Sharon.
Watch the ceremony yet?
I watched just the opening, and it's what do they call her? The stunning Sharon Stone.
It's another adjective.
If you've been watching those videos, you'll know that Joyce and I love that every woman is it's just
beautiful, gorgeous,
just beautiful. The most reductive, retrograde, sexist stuff is every actress is gorgeous and every man is talented.
But wait until you get to when she presents on the show. So.
I can't wait. I might actually watch it tonight after we do this. But yeah, so that's what I got. So it seems like we're kind of on the same page pretty much here.
Yeah, I don't have any SNL in, and I feel like if there's any year for SNL to not make this category, it's this year. So, and they didn't submit. I think they only submitted 4. They didn't even submit Natasha Lyonne, who
no, and they didn't have a lot of female hosts, as it turns out.
Well, they don't usually do anyway. So
no. I put Ariana DeBose because actually, like, while we've talked about frequently that this show had not as much buzz this year as it has in years past, I do think her episode was one of the most well received, and she was really fun on it, and she won an Oscar. So based on that name recognition and the fact that she's also really good in Schmigadoon and all these things, and the episode was really good, I was like, I think she would get in, but I don't know, we'll see. For comedy actor Joyce, guest actor, this is just a wing and a prayer again. I have James Caverly winning for Only Murders. Just the best. Great episode. Absolutely my favorite episode of that whole first season. I also have Albert Brooks for Curb, Kieran Culkin for SNL, Jason Sudeikis for SNL, Nathan Lane for Only Murders, and John Mulaney for SNL. I did 3 SNLs.
Yeah, contrary to guest actress, I have multiple SNL people in this one too, because there are always an abundance of men.
Yes.
So I have Nathan Lane winning.
It'd be great.
I have a Double Murders.
Nice.
And I have Kieran, Jason. I have our guy, Alexander Skarsgård for Atlanta.
Okay.
He could have a double noms in guest. And
I have him getting 1 nom for sure.
I have my guy Bill Hader for Curb.
Right.
And then my Hope Diction, Devon Sawa for Hacks.
I almost put Devon Sawa in because I know you love him. And I was like, Joyce will just put him in, so I don't need to.
You don't need to support him because I'm supporting him.
I will say, I think Bill Hader is actually like a real possibility because he's not, I believe he played not him. He didn't play himself on this season of Curb.
No.
And he played 3 characters.
Yeah, multiple people. Yeah.
So I think that's like, that should get him in. Maybe I'm doing it live. I'm putting him in. John Mulaney, I'll see you later. But Bill Hader's getting in for Curb. Sorry. The other person I thought of for SNL. So you don't have James Caverly, even though you love
I don't. I thought about it, and then I was like, I'm gonna hope Dick Devon right now.
The other person I thought would be good would be Jared Carmichael.
I thought about that too.
For SNL.
I was trying to figure out how many SNL guys I was gonna do.
Maybe I'll put him in too. Just throw them all in. I threw out John Mulaney, so I could throw him in. And that means Albert Brooks, my
one
beloved.
SNL for another.
Albert Brooks, see you later as well. So sorry to that man. But so I still have a Curb and an SNL, just different Curb and SNL. So if you stopped watching this video 2 minutes ago, you would go to my predictions and be like, what did Chris do? He didn't talk about these people, but there you go. A lot of, like you said, this could be all SNL. It could be multiple hacks. Sam Richardson for Ted Lasso, I thought of.
I thought about him too. Yeah, Ted has multiple guys in here as well. But remember last year when everyone was predicting Anthony Head?
I don't think he would get in.
Yeah. The
other person I thought of maybe putting in just on a name recognition is Bowen Yang for Awkwafina, Nora from Queens.
This again also reminds me of last year when he was up for Girls Five Eva.
Yeah, I didn't put him in, but I'm just like, I could see people just being like, I like Bowen Yang, put him in. So that's comedy. Now I have to jump ahead, Joyce. Broadly with while we're on comedy, Joyce. Broadly, I still have Hacks winning.
Same, obviously, but I made several changes.
Same.
Well, first of all, I dropped Flight Attendant and I put back in What We Do in the Shadows.
I dropped the Minx and put in What We Do in the Shadows.
Wow.
Sorry to that man, Minx. I love Minx so much, but I'll tell you what, we were talking about this earlier. A lot of the submissions it made for writing and directing, it feels like happy to be here submissions rather than like we're in it to win it submissions.
I mean, it's a long shot to be nominated anyway.
That's what it felt like. That they did the pilot, I believe, for both writing and directing.
Yeah, but like they like pilots.
So. A lot of shows like pilots, and I understand that's like kind of the play, but as a fan of the show, it would not be my first choice.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense for a new show to submit a pilot. Not every show does that, but most do, and it's obviously a good introduction for voters if you have not seen the show yet and you're planning on checking out.
So you and I, we both have What We Do in the Shadows now. We differ, I think you probably have Atlanta and I have The After Party.
Yes, I still have Atlanta.
And I have The After Party. The other picks would be Hacks, Barry, Ted Lasso, Only Murders, Mrs. Maisel, and Abbott Elementary. Those are my 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then After Party and What We Do in the Shadows. After Party, we were talking about this briefly beforehand and earlier. Man, Apple is really pushing it. and Phil Lord and Chris Miller, your best friends, are also really pushing it. And I feel like that's going to get an it will get a nom based on that enthusiasm, I think.
But Apple is pushing all of its shows, so I don't think it's like specific.
It doesn't have any other comedies to push, though, really. It's not like pushing Mythic Quest. No offense to Mythic Quest. It's like, this is their comedy. They actually seemingly are pushing one comedy, two dramas. The one more than the other would be Severance over Pachinko, and then one limited series, right, with We Crash. Those are the ones they're really aggressively
due to the morning show.
They're really not aggressively pushing it, though, seemingly, at least from my social media feeds.
I mean, that's also just curated to like your likes as well.
Wait, you're telling me the algorithm like pays attention to what I like? And it's like just
you didn't know that? Yeah.
It's feeding me the stuff that I like. Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's not a
Big Brother,
not a clean thing. So I like the after party, and then it's like, we're gonna keep telling you the after party is gonna get an Emmy, maybe Emmy nomination, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. I didn't do much for actress. I still have Jean Smart winning, Rachel Brosnahan, Sarah Lancashire, Quinta Brunson, Kaylee Cuoco, and Selena Gomez.
So I dumped Natasha Lyonne for Tracy Ellis Ross. I'm just gonna go for a farewell nom for Tracy.
So who do you have from that? Then do you not have Selena Gomez?
I don't have Selena, no.
And you have the other 5 that I had.
Yes.
I could see Tracy Ellis Ross easily getting nominated. So Selena Gomez is more like a hope and a prayer.
I would love to see her get in. I just don't know. I mean, obviously Steve Martin and Martin Short are a lot stronger than she is.
So I have both of them in. I have Bill Hader winning, Jason Sudeikis, Steve Martin Short, Anthony Anderson, and I'm sticking with Jake Johnson. I'll go down with that shift.
I still have Jake as well as my hope prediction. I'll probably change it before.
No, keep hope alive with Jake.
I'm keeping him alive right now during voting. But I have Donald in there still.
Wow.
You don't have Donald.
No, I just don't think Atlanta. First of all, he wasn't on very much this season.
But I don't think that matters, because like this category, as we've talked about, is always very weak.
It is. I was surprised it actually got to 6 slots. I really thought it was only going to be 5. Based on submission.
Well, I mean, there's enough people. It's just like overall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For comedy supporting actress choice, I actually made a change here. I have Hannah Einbinder winning over Hannah Waddingham. Did you do that
like 2 weeks ago?
Did I do it 2 weeks ago? Well, I still have it.
After what?
I still have it in after the finale. I did it. And then
I still have Sarah Goldberg winning.
I have Sarah Goldberg in third, Alex Borstein, Juno Temple, Janelle James, Kate McKinnon, and Meg Stalter I put in too.
I put in Meg as well, and I dropped, sadly, Shirley Ruff to do that.
Me too.
So
I mean, I just think Hacks is going to be like a pretty significant. I
feel like it's kind of, not counting the guest categories, I feel like it's poised to add another acting nomination in the regular categories. And in supporting actor, I have Paul W. Downs in lieu of Carl Clemens Hopkins. And I feel like Jimmy and Kale are such a package deal that if you're voting for one, you're probably going to vote for the other.
Yes.
And I don't know if you watch Jean Smart and Martin Short's Actors on Actors.
No, but you told me about it. But tell me.
Did, yeah.
Tell the people.
He was just raving about Meg.
I mean, she is like the funniest. Like, I would say, like, in my opinion, she's the funniest part of the show. She is legit laugh out loud funny. The show is funny, but like, she is doing jokes and really.
I also think she won over a lot of people who were maybe not that into her from the first season, which I totally get to. But the way they really developed her character, and in such a short period of time too, because she was like in the first 2 episodes and then gone for a few, and then they obviously wrapped it up with her and Jimmy at the end. I thought it was really well done. So I think she's won over, or like the characters won over some new fans this season too.
I really enjoyed the season, obviously. And like I said, I thought the finale is like the best thing of anything this year. But I would say that the one thing I think this season did really well was like advance her and Paul Downs. I think both of them had like a lot more material to like dig into. I have Paul in too. Do you have Carl Clemens Hopkins as well then?
No, I don't have Carl. I still have our guy Ben Schwartz, who I don't know if I'll keep.
I'm keeping him. I'm going to put him in to win. I have Brett Goldstein, Tony Shalhoub, Henry Winkler, Ben Schwartz, Anthony Carrigan, Bowen Yang, Paul Downs, and Nick Mohammed. Or my
I put Henry Winkler in first. So I have Barry winning 3 acting awards, but not series.
That's awesome.
Like
it's the Mayor of Easttown of comedy.
Next Mayor of Easttown, next Everybody Loves Raymond. So
I think of the 3, Sarah's got the longest shot, I would argue. But I think Henry Winkler could definitely win.
Henry, the finale was great for Henry, Bill, Sarah, and Anthony. Sadly, Stephen Root didn't have that much to do in the finale, but 7 is a good episode for him.
Right.
So yeah, and just it'll be hilarious if Henry and Matthew Macfadyen win, because their characters both basically did the same thing in their finales that aired exactly 6 months apart. So
let's go to drama, Joyce. This one, let's see, for the guest actors, a classic. I'm scrolling. It just takes so long to scroll. I'm scrolling here, so I'm just killing time.
Scrolling. Good luck to anyone who wants to check out the drama supporting actor ballot, because it takes like 57 years to get through.
It's very long. For guest actors, Joyce, in a drama series, Harriet Walter, Succession, have her winning. I have Lee Yu-mi for Squid Game, Hope Davis for Succession, Marcia Gay Harden for Morning Show, Jackie Weaver, Yellowstone, and I put Elaine May in for The Good Fight.
I thought about Elaine, but instead I have triple Succession.
So I couldn't put Sanaa Lathan in just because she doesn't really do that much.
She doesn't.
And I don't think it's enough of a, I don't think she's enough of a name to get away with not doing that much, personally.
Yeah, it's true. But I guess Elaine is a name.
That's what I was thinking. Right.
But also, they don't really care about The Good Fight.
No. I know they don't care about it, but I think that her name recognition will help her get in, honestly. But do you have Harriet winning?
Obviously.
Just an amazing actor. She's so unbelievable. And in the Shantyshire, is Shantyshire?
Sarah, like she'd rather have a dog than
that scene is just unreal. I watched it like multiple times. It's just such a great scene. And then even at the end in the finale, I know it'll be a different episode, but like when she's on the phone, just her on the phone with him is just her. She's amazing. It's just the best line readings.
Great phone acting.
Really good phone acting to the point where I'd love to know, was she actually on the phone in the scene? I feel like she was. Probably in the next room, but it sounded like she was on the phone. It's just too good. I mean,
they were all in Italy, so.
Right. I just feel like it was too good. It's just incredible. So I really do hope she wins. And then for actor, I have our boy Adrian Brody winning for Succession. I have James Cromwell from Succession, Ron Cephas Jones for This Is Us, Martin Short for The Morning Show, Ace Scars for Succession, and then Coleman Domingo for Euphoria. Love Coleman Domingo.
Of course I do.
I interviewed him, so that's why. But he's also great on it.
I have Ace Scars winning.
Nice. He's great.
And then I have Ron Cephas Jones, 2-time winner, who was not submitted last year, but back this year. With Adrian and James and Martin. And then I have my Hope Diction, Richard E. Grant for Loki.
Wow. I'll tell you who I want to put in, and I actually might right now, though I don't know who I would take out, is Justin Kirk for Succession.
I know. I wanted to do that too. I was like, should I do 4 Succession?
It could really be. You could actually have even more, because we could have
Arian is there. Arian
Moayed, yeah. Who's so good.
I know. Yeah, I really love Justin and What It Takes.
Justin is amazing. I would say Arian's like the lowest probability, just because like he's not as prominent.
That would just be like a vote for Stewie.
It would be a vote for Stewie because you love the character, and also like Arian had Inventing Anna, and he's doing Miss Marvel right now, and people obviously really like him, and he was in Spider-Man, so it would definitely be like a name check almost.
Like a minute.
Still, I was like, it would be like a name check, but I could see it happening, but whatever. Justin Kirk would be amazing. I just don't know who to take out.
I know, because I'm like,
I would honestly take out Martin Short from Morning Show.
Yeah.
But it's like such an against type thing, and he's Martin Short and people love him, so I don't know. I'm not doing it, but I'd love Justin Kirk to get in. And I actually hope they have more. I hope season 4 does more with that and like has him become like a bigger role.
Well, in their timeline, they'll be coming up on the election.
So if he's running, I feel like they could have him doing more. And the dynamic between him and Kieran was amazing. Just the entire
The
character
bathroom
itself
scene. Just-
was so good. It's just so good. I guess
yeah, I want to put him in, but I don't.
you don't have Coleman Domingo either.
No, I mean, I guess I could drop Richard E. Grant for someone, but then it's like I have 4 Succession people.
You should keep Richard E. Grant because like he's your boy.
He's my boy. I know, and I know like Jonathan Majors is also up for guest.
And he would be great. I love him in Loki. I think that's such a tricky performance because it's all exposition and he does it so well. And it's like it's a great performance because he's a character you don't know who it is, and an actor hasn't been on the show and just comes in and just dominates the finale, and it actually is awesome. That Loki remains the best Marvel show, but like that really worked. It just works so well.
Yeah, and that scene is like what, like 15-20 minutes just in his office. Yeah.
Anybody else here you toyed with?
No, not really.
Mark Hamill for Book of Boba Fett and his deep fake
Well,
face.
it's interesting because like, you recall last year our guy Timothy Olyphant got in for Mandalorian. But I just don't think Boba has the same strength behind it.
No, Boba Fett wasn't very good compared to Mandalorian. So
you're not going to predict him?
I'm not. If I was going to predict anybody for Boba Fett, it would actually be Pedro Pascal, because when Boba Fett was awesome was when it was like Mandalorian season. It was like Mandalorian season 2B, basically. And it was great. When Mandalorian showed up, it was like, this show is amazing. I love it so much. And then it kind of moved around a little bit. Not as well without Mandalorian. Love Mandalorian. And then we have to do limited series, Joyce. I have to do more scrolling here.
You mean just limited series, the 5?
No, not just the 5. We'll go back to that because it is only 5, but for guests. Oh,
There's
no, there is
guest and limited.
I'm sorry. I forgot the other categories we added were animated, competition, reality, host, and variety. Do you want to do those or no?
I mean, I think they're going to be pretty similar to last year's. Yeah. I mean, we can if you want to.
Well, limited, like we could do limited series because I was actually like stumped on 5 here. So we'll only be 5 based on the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have the 2021 3, Dope Sick, White Lotus, and Maid.
Yes.
And then I kept the Staircase because I have 100-1 odds on it, and I don't want to lose that yet.
Not bad. I wondered if it was going to be, that show ended up being like pretty fraught. Like a lot of the people involved were very unhappy with it. I wonder how much people care about that though.
Not at all. No.
I have We Crashed and I have the Dropout in with the 2021 3. I
have the Dropout as well.
What if the Dropout is not making it in? Does it feel like
I've taken it out, I'm putting it back in. I was debating between that, Under Banner of Heaven, and 1883. So
I feel like the Dropout has lost all its buzz.
So the buzz for the Dropout, I always felt like it was never there. Really, when it premiered, it got like fine reviews, right? Not like overly glowing reviews, right? It's always like the Amanda Seyfried show. And then I felt like as it was airing, this kind of support developed around it, but it didn't feel like it was from the actual viewership. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like it was like based like on fan support really. So I don't know like how organic it was. And then I had like some viral moments, with like her dancing and everything and all those clips.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but once like the season ended, it kind of feels like you're still just talking about Amanda's performance and not really the show overall.
So it's funny. I'm like I was trying to like read the tea leaves of what they submitted for like certain things for like directing. They did the 3rd episode and then the 6th episode, I believe. I just had it open.
I don't remember what those were.
The 3rd episode is called Green Juice. It was Michael
Oh,
Showalter as
okay.
Theranos rapidly expands. Elizabeth's technology struggles to keep pace, and then Sonny considers joining the company. And then the 6th episode, Iron Sisters, is when Tyler Schultz and Erica Chung are
Right.
like figuring out things. Now that episode is great, but I'm shocked that they did not do Old White Men, which is I think when most people were like, this show is really good because it did the first
Alan
3.
Ruck.
You have Ruck coming in, great performance. It's all like, it's when the tone of the show really like locks in. And it's like the first 3, I think, are fine. Like we had talked about, it's like a lot of setup and they have them all aired all at once. And then you get 4 is like, oh, this show's great. That was how I kind of went into it. And I was like, oh, it's interesting that they did not pick that for directing. And I don't think they did it for writing either. I had it open before.
I think Showalter only directed the first 4, so yeah, he could have submitted that one.
Right.
But I don't think Liz Merriweather wrote that one. So
No. Hold on, I have to open it. I opened the wrong ballot, Joyce. There's so many ballots.
wow. It's also like 57 pages.
There's 62. So it looks like this was I'm in a Hurry, which was
that's the premiere.
It must be because it's the only one that doesn't have a.
That's because that's when she's in college and
Yeah.
she's listening to the song and everything. Yeah, and like Liz Merriweather wrote that one, so.
So that's what they did for writing. But yeah, I'm actually now not sure it's going to get in, but I don't know what I would take out for it. You know what I mean? Like there's so many, like how do you, like you have the staircase. I have We Crash still because again, I'm going with like Apple love, like is really pushing it. And I actually think people do like it. And I think it has stood the test of time more than The Dropout at this point.
I'm surprised you don't have 1883.
So I would put 1883 in over The Dropout at this point. If I took out if I took out The Dropout or We Crashed, I think I would take out Dropout and put in 1883. In fact,
like I thought about putting it in.
I'm going to do it right now. I'm doing it live. Dropout's out and I'm putting 1883 in. There's just so many shows though. Like you could put any of these shows in, I feel like.
Yeah, like it's so hard to figure out the other 2 spots.
I will say I made another change too that you'll be like, I can't believe you finally did it. I finally took out Ben Foster and limited series actor.
Wow.
Because it's just too. I put in Samuel L. Jackson actually for Last Days of.
Okay. So I made a lot of changes. Well, no, not so much to actor, but I did to actress. My actress one is wild.
So my actress one is Amanda Seyfried, Margaret Qualley, Jessica Chastain, Julia Garner, Anne Hathaway, and Isabel May.
Okay, so I have Amanda, Margaret, Toni Collette, who is going lead for The Staircase, as we've mentioned.
Right.
Jessica. I put in Lily James.
Wow.
And then I put back in Julia Roberts.
Wow. Joyce.
I told you.
I will say this again, I'm just going on anecdotal, like what are people doing? Lily James is getting a big push, I feel like, for Pam and Tommy. So is Sebastian Stan, but they're like out there. I don't know if that's going to work, but why not? I mean, they're definitely like going out there and being like, we put a lot of work into this. So I could see it.
Yeah. Because I've always had him in. I didn't have her in.
Right. I think if he's going to get in, then she has to get in. Because hers is the trickier performance. And it is so much, for like all it, like we talk about with like Oscars all the time, like the physical transformation, her entire performance is like helped by like she is got just she's completely done with like makeup and like prosthetics to play.
Yeah, and her voice is completely different. Obviously, she's British.
It's like truly an unrecognizable performance.
And I think what I ultimately put her in because the show did premiere earlier than the spring onslaught. It premiered in February. So say what you want to, Will, about the show, but I think, you've been talking a whole year about their quote unquote transformations, even though that's hair and makeup. But like, I think they're both good. And so I kind of just did a pairing with them. and also with Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain.
So
But
we
that
did
meant I dropped my girl Claire Foy because I still have Paul Bettany.
So we did opposite pairing because I did Jared and Ann for We Crashed. I just think they're
They've been
inseparable.
down the ship with We Crashed.
I love it. I love the show, and I just think they're amazing. They're both like really
I
good.
know. I abandoned Anne. I'm sorry, Anne.
Oh no,
You're already
Ann
an Emmy
Lewis.
winner. I'm sorry.
Joyce, I got to say, I watched House. This is a sidebar, but I watched House of Gucci on the plane.
No, you told me.
Great movie. 4 stars.
I have not rewatched it since I saw it.
Absolutely rewatch it. Lady Gaga was robbed. They'd done robbed Lady Gaga. That was my take. Holy cow, she should have won Best Actress.
But you know what I heard the full version of over the weekend?
The Lady Gaga Top Gun song?
Yes, Hold My Hand.
Good song.
Yeah.
I will say I mean this not as an insult to anybody in any place, but having now goes to Italy once here. I'm not going to talk about this too much, but having been in Italy for a week and hearing native Italians speak English, both Jared Leto and Lady Gaga, those accents were not bad. They were pretty legit, I would say.
Lady Gaga is Italian.
I'm saying, but you know what I mean? Like a native, she's not like a native Italian like speaker. The work that they did on those accents that was roundly mocked by us also, including myself, very good. I thought also held up really well. The problem is sometimes when I was thinking like, sometimes it sounds fake just because you're like, it can't possibly sound like that in real life, but then it does. But sometimes it's like it's too real almost. You know what I mean? Like it's hard.
Well, I think it's also because they're using that accent to speak in English.
Right. But I'm saying like when people speak Italian who speak English to you, like that is sometimes how they sound, I guess I would say.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, I've heard Italians from Brooklyn. So
yeah. Anyway, House of Gucci, great movie. Watch it on a plane or on DVD, I guess. This is my last plug for House of Gucci. So you have Toni Collette in. I don't have her in, but I'm now like thinking maybe I should.
I mean, I still believe she's more supporting. It's borderline. I understand why, I guess, strategically they're pushing her lead to also make room for the real, I guess, quote unquote, real supporting ladies in the staircase, which I'm also, it's a nightmare for me as well in both supporting categories because there's 7 slots in both. In this climate, I don't know why, like true nightmare. And I've had like Juliette Binoche in and out.
I put Juliette Binoche in actually, and I think the other person I put in with now 7 is Danielle Deadwyler for Station 11.
Oh, so you're back on Station 11.
Well, in that performance, I am. My list is for supporting actress in limited series is Jennifer Coolidge, Andie MacDowell, Caitlin Dever, Faith Hill, 1883, Connie Britton, Juliette Binoche, and Danielle Deadwyler. That's my 7.
So I have Jennifer Coolidge, Caitlin Dever, Connie Britton, Andie MacDowell, Alexandra Daddario, Rosario Dawson, and then like just today, I dropped Juliette Binoche for Laurie Metcalf.
Wow, back to Laurie Metcalf.
I don't know what to do. There's a 7th slot. What do I do?
Juliette Binoche. She had like the major role in the show.
I know, but like the thing is, like her stuff doesn't start until the back half, and I'm just thinking, is this another Mrs. America scenario with the show where remember Sarah Paulson had her big episode was at the end of the season and they clearly did not get to it, and she had because she wasn't nominated, and all the Mrs. America people they nominated were from the beginning of the season, so it's like they gave up on the show.
I think
so I'm just wondering,
I don't think people gave up on the show. I don't think people gave up on the staircase because it's like a mystery. It's a different scenario than Mrs. America. You want to watch it because it's a mystery show.
I don't know if it's a mystery show because it's like you could have seen the documentary and just follow the case the past.
Do you think people watch documentaries?
Yes, the docuseries, that was huge. I love documentaries.
I know we like documentaries, but I'm saying, do you think like Jane?
No, I don't mean like they're watching the docuseries now, like they have seen it. So it's like they already know the result of the case.
Maybe. I think it played more like a mystery, and I think people would watch it more than.
I don't think it plays like a mystery because I think it's because I don't even consider the show about that because it's more about like the criminal justice system,
right?
And they show like all these variations of Toni Collette dying and everything, but yeah, like Juliette, like all her stuff is at the end, so I don't know. She's really good, but it's like backloaded. I think she's in the episodes in the beginning, but it's just like her helping Colin Firth get ready for
Right.
the trial.
I'd be curious to see how it plays. I don't know. A lot of these shows, I'm just like, will they like for Pam and Tommy, for instance, it could have 3 acting nominations, right? I have Seth Rogen in for supporting. Sebastian Stan, like we said, and Lily James. For Staircase, it could have 3 and a series nomination. Like, or it could have none, or maybe 1, Colin Firth. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah, because again, the Staircase premiered May 5th, and I wouldn't say it became a huge hit or anything.
right.
So
And more of it now lately has been written about. I feel like when I see it getting written about, it's from the real life parties being like, that's not fair.
Michael Peterson.
So I'm just like, who knows? But also it's like on HBO and obviously has like a huge like top level cast of like major people and was very well received. So I don't know. It could go either way. Same thing with like the like we'll laugh here, but if you told me that The Offer got like 4 Emmy nominations in top categories, I would not be surprised.
But do you know who I put into my 7th slot?
Matthew Good. Hell yeah. Put him at the top. He's winning.
7 slots. What am I gonna do?
Put him in. I've had him in. He rules. Joyce, I interviewed Matthew Good.
I know you did, and you already had him in before you interviewed him. So
That was one where even before I interviewed him, I was like, wow. When I interviewed him, I was like, I really mean this. You are my favorite performance of the year. It wasn't just me saying it. It was a true statement. I absolutely loved it.
And what did he say?
He was great. He's an absolute charmer. He did it from his iPhone, which we don't love usually. But you know what? When you're so charming and handsome
And
like
British.
Matthew Good is, we'll make exceptions.
Yeah, and also he was traveling, so
he was in LA, and he was like, at the end of the interview, he was like, you're my last, I got 1 left, and then I'm gonna go to the bar. I was like, Matthew Good, you rule.
Wow,
Love
he
that
was his
guy.
last one. Look, save the best for last.
So I have him winning, and then I think we have all the same ones. Do you have Tim McGraw in there? I have Tim McGraw in.
I don't have any 1883 people. No, I have Murray Bartlett, Naveen Andrews. I have my guy Wyatt Russell.
Nice.
Still, I have Michael Stuhlbarg for The Staircase.
Wow, the
but I'm
offbeat
thinking,
Michael Stuhlbarg.
I also, before I put in Matthew Good, I was like, what if I just go double Stuhlbarg just to be safe?
Wow.
And then I put William H. Macy back in, and Steve Zahn for The White Lotus.
Oh, that's pretty good. I don't have any of those guys in. I have mine is much less. I have Matthew Good, Murray Bartlett, Naveen Andrews. Do you have in or no?
Yeah.
No. Seth Rogen, Tim McGraw, Peter Sarsgaard, and Nick Robinson.
So I dropped both Nick and Peter.
I could see that happening, like we had talked about, I think previously, like Peter Sarsgaard, someone who was ranked very high in the odds the whole season.
The Bill Camp of the season.
And then nobody puts him in. I would, of the people you mentioned, I would put William H. Macy in for The Dropout. I really do love him in it. I just was like, he's not in it very much. And the character is
it's sort of like Laurie, like they're similar in that regard. Like they're kind of in the beginning a little bit, and then they come back at the end to bring her down.
But man, he's really good on it.
He has a fake forehead, and they nominated him a billion times for Shameless.
And so he's quite good. I can see it happening. Do you want to do, Joyce? Let's do our. I want to go to the anything else with these categories of the acting?
No, did we do drama besides guest? I don't even remember.
No, but we could go back to that. Hang on.
My only big change in drama is I dropped Bridgerton from series.
Wow.
And I put in Yellow Jackets.
Wow, went back to Yellow Jackets?
I don't know what to do. What do you do in the 8th slot? You have This Is Us. So.
I have This Is Us. Do you have, so we have the same, I have Succession,
we have the same 7 probably, and then.
Yeah, Succession, Squid Game, Ozark, Better Call Saul, Stranger Things, Yellowstone, Severance, and This Is Us.
Mm-hmm.
I've been toying with dropping Jennifer Aniston from as well, but I haven't done it yet. I don't know who I would put in, that's why. I honestly would put in like Britt Lower from Severance, or Lauer, I guess.
Yeah, so I put back Yellow Jackets just because before I would have had 4 Netflix shows.
Right.
And then I was just like, that's probably not going to happen. And then so I debated putting in This Is Us, but
Put it
I don't
in.
know. I guess I'll just, because I know it's already been dropped before in a competitive year, and I guess like Yellow Jackets being new, it's still untested. So
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think Severance hurt Yellow Jackets because it's a similarly flashy new mystery show.
But it's an unlimited ballot. Like,
I know, but I think like Severance is
like
better. I don't know.
I don't think like if you like both shows, I don't see why you just wouldn't vote for both of them.
you could vote for both of them, but I guess I would say like I think Yellow Jackets would be much further down the list than Severance.
I think Severance is a better show than Yellow Jackets.
And I think This Is Us is like I think would be a consistent shower on these lists. I think like Yellow Jackets would be more polarizing.
Yeah.
Plus, I have two of
This has like the legacy,
right,
vote.
and you have Sterling and Mandy in. So I was like, it's obviously
I do. I have Sterling and Mandy. Oh, you know who else I put in? Chris Sullivan.
Wow.
I know. Watch him not get him now because I'm predicting him.
I do not have Chris Sullivan in, but I will tell you, I have both Sadie Sink and Millie Bobby Brown in.
We already talked about this.
Love it. And Sydney Sweeney. I love my supporting actress race. It's great. I have both Jonathan Banks and Giancarlo Esposito for Better Call Saul, and then Turturro for Severance.
I sadly dropped Jonathan. I didn't want to, but I just don't know. I mean, if we're being really truthful, the supporting actors from Better Call Saul who should be getting in this season are Patrick Fabian and Michael Mando, even though he should have been submitted in guest because he only appeared in 3 episodes, so he was guest eligible.
I will say both of those actors have been doing a lot of press, certainly because they were more post-mortem press.
Actors don't watch that show. That's the problem.
I'm just saying,
writers watch that show.
Well, actors might not watch that show, but I'm saying, like, I guess, yeah, you're right. They don't watch that show. I don't know.
Ray Seahorn still never nominated.
I know. But no, the Hollywood Reporter told me she is going to get nominated.
She was on Cover Variety. Better Call Kim. So
good cover. Joyce, let's do the ballots because we had different opinions. So you and I, we've talked about this a lot last year, how you want to be strategic with what you submit because you don't want to over submit. Now we saw this, a great example was like Ted Lasso last year. I think submitted like multiple episodes.
They did it again this year.
And Hack submitted 1 episode. And then when it was nominations came, there were like 3 Ted Lasso episodes for like writing or directing.
It was directing, I think.
Everything was directing. And then 1 Hacks, and Hacks won, even though Ted Lasso was like at that time the much more favored show. So that's like kind of what we're talking about with strategy. You want to just like have it. Now, some of these shows don't give an F. Succession did 6 episodes, I believe, right?
Well, so Succession always just submits 1 episode for writing for Jesse Armstrong, and it's always been the finale.
Right. But for directing,
unlike usual shows or first season shows, especially that submit the pilot, he submitted the season 1 finale,
right? Which,
as we know, won.
Right.
And then the season 2 finale, and now he submitted season 3 finale. They typically submit multiple directing episodes, which they again did this year, and they submitted the DJ 5 when they just swept that category, plus Kathy Ann for The Disruption. Great episode. So I don't think they'll take up all the slots. In also drama directing, it was 3 submissions away from getting 8 slots. So it's going to be 7 slots.
So 7 slots. How many? Let's start with there. How many Succession do you think we'll get in?
I think max will get 3.
Which 3?
The finale.
So All the Bells Say, directed by Mark Mylod.
Yeah.
Great finale.
Yeah. I think Lorene Scafaria can get in for Too Much Birthday.
I hope she does, because that's a fantastic episode, and she's a fantastic director. And Hustlers was robbed.
Have you watched?
Not yet, but I know J-Lo is right.
Please watch it. Please watch it. And if it gets 3, I think What It Takes can get in, because Andre Perec directed that one, and he won for Hunting last time, you recall.
Yes. What It Takes, as we were just talking, is the one with Justin Kirk and the right-wing king-making.
The Republican convention.
Yes. Not a convention though, but like a sneaky, the real convention, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the king making.
The king making. I would say I think Disruption could get in. I really like that episode.
Yeah, I really like that, but I also really like Retired Janitors of Idaho. You know, I love Imaginary Dead Cat.
You do love the Imaginary Dead Cat. I'm not as fond as that one as you are, but and I think
That's a bottle episode, totally.
And I think Lion in the Winter is great. That's the one with our boy Adrian Brody. Love it so much. Robert Pulcini and Sherry Springer Berman directed that one. Definitely love that one. It's really good. But I think Disruption is great. I just love that one. And like we said, the raid and the way it's done at the end is like so good.
And then
Just
the
like,
rate me during Shiv's speech.
Incredible moments for Kendall. Even with like the Z-Way the satire where it's like, I don't know if she knew she was being satirized or not in that episode, but
she's in the episode.
What?
She's in the episode.
I know she's in the episode, but I don't think it's a very flattering portrayal of her either. I know it's like her dunking on Kendall, but I never got the sense watching it that they were like, the writers are like, this is funny.
Yeah.
We should be rooting for this comic. But I think Stranger Things will get in. They submitted 2, the finale of part 1, and then Dear Billy, which is the highlight for Sadie Sink that Sean Levy directed, and the Duffers did the finale.
I think chapter 7 will get in.
I think chapter 7 will get into. So that's now 4, and then how much did you say was left? 3 left.
So I think Ben Stiller's getting for Severance for the finale.
Same. So that's
and then
great.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
For the Ozark finale.
So then that's it.
Former winner.
No, 1 left after that.
And then Squid Game.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah. So that's
you could get
so that's if it's a triple succession.
There's also a possibility that multiple This Is Us actors could get in here because they all directed seemingly last year.
Yeah, they all like took turns in the final season.
So Mandy Moore, Chris Sullivan,
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Milo Ventimiglia, and John Huertas all directed one.
You know who also self-submitted? Laura Linney, because she directed an Ozark this season. But the person who wasn't submitted was Robin Wright, who also helmed an episode.
How about our boy Michael Mann for the Tokyo Vice pilot?
Well, you also talked to him.
I did talk to him, and he's great. And I think he can get into, honestly. The pilot is really well done.
Tell everyone, share your story about just regular people watching Tokyo Vice.
So I was at a wedding last week, and just some stranger at the table we were at one part of the wedding was talking about stuff, and he was like, "Oh, you watching the show Tokyo Vice?" Just like out of nowhere. And I do feel like it's not just. I do feel like more and more people have like talked about it. It does seem like it built up a lot of momentum and buzz.
Yeah, I just don't know. I feel like it would have been better had it been on HBO proper. Like maybe it should have gotten the time slot that the Time Traveler's Wife got.
I definitely think it would have been more visible if it was on HBO proper. And obviously there is a world of reasons why people were not as enthusiastic about it on social media as they probably would have been otherwise. But I think in the real world, people are watching it because it just is like a compelling thing that like seems like a cool show, right? Like it just is a great topic and a cool subject, and like the style is really great.
I finally got one of my friends to start watching it, so he's been watching it and he's into it. So
the other person I was thinking was maybe like Adam McKay for the pilot of Winning Time.
I don't really see Winning Time doing much above the line, sadly.
No.
But you know who else I think I can get into directing? Taylor Sheridan.
I was thinking him too for our favorite Yellowstone. So for comedy, Joyce, let me go there. Let's see. This is when I was like, this was wrong. The defense was wrong.
You're wrong.
No, the defense is wrong.
No.
I am right.
You have to do it in the accent.
The defense was wrong. We'll do this, and I'm going to be doing a lot of that. And when we do the Oscars tomorrow night, because just love that. My favorite movie, My Cousin Vinny, so good.
I thought Goodfellas was your favorite movie.
Goodfellas is my favorite movie. My Cousin Vinny is definitely up there, though. I've seen it 50 million times. The defense was wrong. Hack submitted There Will Be Blood, which is the season 2 premiere. For Lucia Aniello, obviously won this category last year as well, right? For comedy directing.
Yes.
Now, the Hacks finale should have been submitted. That's like,
Okay, but I already explained to you why.
I know why, because they wanted Lucia to win, right? Like that's the idea.
So here, they're again being strategic.
Yes.
They submitted one. She directed most of the episodes in season 2. And the only reason she didn't direct the season 2 finale is because she went into labor. Right. So I think they said she went into labor early while she was directing the penultimate episode. So she was still directing at home, like from a feed before she went to the hospital. So they just brought in Trent O'Donnell to direct the finale, because the other director of the season is Paul W. Downs, who directed like the middle two episodes, I think. But he and Lucia are married, if you don't know. Yes. So obviously he didn't direct the finale either.
Right.
So they were just never going to submit Trent O'Donnell, who basically just did them a favor and directed the finale.
But he directed the best episode of the whole show. It doesn't
matter. Also, it's like this Hacks is a top 2 show, and it doesn't matter in the nomination phase, because if you want to vote for Hacks, you only have one choice, so you're going to vote for her.
Right. Now, it'll get in, obviously, but I just think it won't win, because I think Barry will probably win here with Bill Hader.
Well, Barry did exactly what I thought it was going to do, which is they only had 2 directors in season 3, Bill Hader and Alec Berg. And I figured they would sacrifice Alec and not submit him to focus on Bill, because Bill really wants a directing win. And 710 North is the best episode of the season with the chase.
Right.
So that's exactly what they did. They only submitted 1. So last time in season 2, they submitted both of them, and Bill directed Ronnie and Lily. And if you recall, it lost to a sweeping Fleabag.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Bill can win, and I have him winning directing.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to worry about 2 Barry episodes being nominated now. So all the Barry supporters can just vote for him. But there is a world where if Hacks is winning series and it's on a roll, that Lucia just wins again.
So I mean, I could see winning writing, because they did submit the proper episode for writing.
I think Hacks is winning writing again,
which is the finale, which is the best episode of the season, and probably the best episode of anything this year. I thought the Hacks finale is so good.
But so the thing is the directing match is the laziest too.
Right. I don't think they're gonna win. I do think Barry's gonna win, though. I think if it was, I guess my thought was Barry might have still won against even the Hacks finale, but I think if the Hacks finale was in there for pound quality, you could argue that it should win.
But I don't think, I mean, we like to think quality matters, but it doesn't. Always. Like these people gave 2 Game of Thrones episode writing awards and nominated the Iron Throne. So
yeah, that's fair. Ted Lasso,
they just vote for like what they like, their favorite show, their favorite people. And yeah, like both these shows did the smart thing and just submitted 1 episode in directing, because directing is also the most vote splitty branch. We saw that last year. That's why I predicted Hacks to win directing, because I was like, Ted Lasso is not winning because it has 3. And
so this year Ted Lasso has 4 potential.
Yeah, they submitted 4 in directing and 2 in writing this year.
And I have to say, submitting Beard After Hours is such a flex. I think
it's almost a troll job.
Even the people involved with Ted Lasso know people did not like that episode. Brett Goldstein, I interviewed for the WGA, and he wrote that episode, and he was like, yeah, people didn't like that one that much. It was like a very polarizing episode, because it was a bottle episode. About this
before, how both those shows, Hacks and Ted, in their first seasons had 10 episodes, and Hacks this season had 8 and Ted had 12.
And I gotta say, they both should have had 10 again. Hacks was too rushed, Ted Lasso was too long. So they should have had 10. But
I think Hacks had 8 because of her pregnancy and everything, and obviously
and COVID, I'd imagine too, or whatever it was. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was, but it could have used another 2. But yeah, so the Ted Lasso, Beard After Hours, huge flex, and then the other ones. I think we talked about this last year, and I love Ted Lasso, and I know you're not as big of a fan as I am, but I would say a lot of the episodes run together, except for like the standalones, like the Beard one or the Christmas one.
Yeah, that was definitely. I also watched. I mean, I binged it all in one day.
Much easier to binge, and with Hacks, I feel like it's much more.
You can differentiate them.
especially this season, because it was like a road trip one. So it's like the lesbian cruise, even though it's not a submission. When you're thinking of the season, you're like the finale, the bar one with her mom, right? Like there's ways to go through it, and you're just like, oh, it's very easy. I guess for Ted Lasso, you could sort of do that. Like the Rebecca funeral one, I think will get the Ted Lasso nomination.
Yeah, like that I think that would get into writing and directing. Yeah, there's only, but like I guess like the quote unquote like regular episodes, you can't really differentiate.
So the only two I could differentiate, and they're actually both up for directing, are the funeral one and then the Rainbow, which is the
rom-com.
the Roy Kent rom-com. And I think that could get into, that's like,
But again, that's not a regular, you know.
right. The other ones all kind of blend together. So I don't know. I could see Ted Lasso getting 2, and I think Barry.
I think so. Barry for directing. I think Barry hacks.
Yeah.
Ted for funeral.
I think Ted for funeral and
get
Rainbow.
another. Which one?
I think Ted for funeral and Rainbow. I think Barry and Hacks. That's 4. Is this a 7 as well?
This is a 7. And remember, one spot has to be reserved for a multicam. So remember that.
Right.
I think Abbott Elementary is getting in for the pilot.
I agree. I thought Abbott Elementary.
And then I think Maisel can come back.
Yes. And then what's the multicam?
The multicam. So last year it was B positive, which has since been canceled. So I actually think Pam Fryman can get in for How I Met Your Father.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty.
So yeah,
recognizable name, recognizable IP.
It's nominated for Himian. So
yeah, that's IP I'm familiar with.
Yes.
How about
Alex Boros and Nero? So
how about Chris Miller for After Party?
I wish.
They wisely submitted Jasper for directing, and also
for writing. They did Maggie
for writing. They did Maggie for writing, which is the finale, but probably should have done it for writing too. I think the Jasper episode is the pinnacle of the show.
It is the best episode. And I understand it as a directing submission, and I understand why they went with Maggie for writing, because that's the finale and when everything comes together. So
what else? What other ones? We were talking about some of these blurbs here. I'm going to find this. I want to just read the offer
Hawkeye
one.
blurb for Save the City. Just one of the worst.
I'll read the offer one, and then you do the Save the City one. The offer one is beloved offer. I love the show, sincerely love it, had so much fun watching it. They chose the finale for writing, and also It's Who We Are when they go to Sicily. But for the finale, which is called Brains and Balls, The Godfather is released to rave reviews and box office records. Drama unfolds at the 45th Academy Awards. Al Ruddy looks to the future in his next project. Incredible stuff.
We know what that next project is.
It's The Longest Yard.
Which one on Golden Globe?
Al says, take The Godfather Part 2 and stick it where the sun don't shine. I'm going out on my own. I'm making Longest Yard, and we're winning a Golden Globe. And he does it. Also,
I love that it's drama unfolds at the 45th Academy Awards.
Because they think they're going to, the way they edit that, I think the finale aired last week. It actually aired. Yes. The way they edit that together, it's just like, Coppola loses, right? Best director, and they're just like, we're gonna lose. It's not gonna win. I should have known. It's a lot of like audience shots. Yeah. Not a lot of audience though. It's like 4 people.
No, it's like one aisle basically, and it's just a very darkly lit. But the best is when it does win Best Picture, and Miles Teller he does like a slow-mo walk to the stage, and he just like grabs the Oscar.
Because what if that offer is like a canary in the coal mine for Top Gun Maverick winning Best Picture?
Why? Go ahead and predict Miles Teller.
I almost had it in for actor.
And the Oscar.
I'll tell you what. You know what? We're in the midst of a great Miles Teller renaissance because I watched Spiderhead. Did you get to watch that on Netflix yet?
I did not watch that. No.
It's awesome, and he rules. The movie is so good.
But what I did watch was his interview on Seth, I think. Yeah, when he talked about how he got jet fuel in his blood, and he wanted to brag about it to Tom Cruise, and he was like, "Kid, I was born with it."
It's the best. Tom Cruise. I cannot get enough Tom Cruise stories. I interviewed Miles Teller for The Offer, Joyce. You can check that on our
I know
YouTube.
you did, but you're not predicting him.
No, I had him in. I took him out. I could see putting him back in, and I could actually see him getting nominated too, because I think The Offer is like, people love a Hollywood story, and like a lot of people, like again in my real life, have been like, you know what, I watched The Offer and it's a lot of fun.
You
It's
know who
just an
else
easy
watched The
watch.
Offer? Al Pacino.
Yes, he loved it. Big
It's
Al.
about his life. Why wouldn't he watch it?
I wonder what he thinks of the guy doing Al Pacino, Anthony Ippolito.
I thought he was actually decent. I know that clip of him then went viral.
It's good though. I didn't even in the clip that everybody was dunking on, I'm like, it's actually not bad. I don't think he's bad.
I don't think it was bad. I think it's like, again, I think if you're like super like film Twitter in that sphere, the show is not for you.
No.
But it's highly entertaining and
it's
a very easy watch.
Yeah, it's for people who have a sense of humor about themselves and the world. So if you don't have a sense of humor,
again, like we've talked about, like it doesn't, very murky timelines. You don't know when like things are happening. It's just, you just have to go with it.
It's very murky timeline. It does not seemingly take itself too seriously, but it is like it's just a lot of like juice. It's like high class gossip. You know what I mean? It's like all backstage stuff, and you're like, oh, is this what really happened? I don't know, but it's a great story. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's super entertaining. So I'm like not surprised people don't like it. But I don't think they'll get in. But anyway, I don't know. I don't even know how we got here on Miles Teller, Joyce. That's how I lost.
We're reading the blurb.
That's right. So read me what was the one you were going to read? Save the City.
Hawkeye one for their song "Save the City."
Please read it.
Blurb. Archer, Kate Bishop, lands in the middle of a criminal conspiracy, forcing Hawkeye out of retirement. That does not tell you a single thing about the damn song, which is the theme from their musical within the show, Rogers the Musical.
Correct.
And it's a great song, written by Mark Heyman, who got in last year for a song no one's heard of. So I think he can still get in this year. But yeah, just not the best blurb. But you know who had good blurbs? Atlanta, for their guest actors. Really good ones. So
before we get to, I want to just point this out. Nicholas Bertel could be a triple nominee, I guess, because we have Succession. Obviously, he picked the penultimate episode for Succession. What were your thoughts on that?
It's good. You know, I was of course listening to the soundtrack again over the weekend.
Yes.
Can't go wrong really with any episode, and that has the dick pic.
It does, and it has the Kendall like fake out, and it's a great episode. I was like, this song, I think the track that we love the most is from Disruption, because it's the raid. The FBI raid is so good, and I think they bring that back a little bit in the finale. So I was kind of surprised he didn't go in the finale, but Shantyshire, whatever it is great. But then he has Winning Time as a score with Robert Glasper, and then he has an original song from Winning Time that he co-wrote called Corrupt in Los Angeles.
Which is just upsetting because he didn't submit L to the OG.
Correct. But he submitted this.
Yeah.
So he could get in there at ×3.
I don't think he will, but
I don't think he will either. I definitely think he'll get in for Succession, though.
I know we need to get him to win this time because Ludwig is not around.
I will say, random like dart throw. I would really love the Dan Romer score for Station 11 to get in. Back to that, it's a great score.
Yeah, obviously the Loki score we've talked about.
Love it. No notes. And then for Girls 5 Eva Joyce, they submitted 2 songs. BPE.
Yes, Big Pussy Energy.
Absolutely banging. Just love it. And then Bend Not Break.
Yeah, that's their first single off Returnity.
So Bend Not Break is actually like a legit song.
Yeah, and it's funny because that whole storyline and that song exists because Paula Pell needed real knee replacement surgery last summer.
Joyce, you interviewed Paula Pell.
I did. I interviewed Paula Pell.
Tell me about it.
So she had previously had a knee replacement like years ago, and she said it collapsed. So she needed a new surgery last summer. So she called Meredith Scartino and was like, hopefully this won't disrupt production too much. And then they're like, oh my God, this is a perfect story. It's such a glorious storyline. So they wrote it in that Gloria needed a knee replacement, which she gets in the first episode because she does a death drop and busts her knee. And then it carries through to the end of the season as they're recording the album. and their first single is Bend Not Break, which is inspired by Gloria's knee surgery, and just the whole mess is just like how they have each other's backs to carry the weight when one can't like carry the burden themselves. So if it wasn't for Paula Pell, that song would not exist, and it's written by Sarah Bareilles.
Yeah, and that song could get Sarah Bareilles a nomination, which would be nice. BPE is your boy Jeff Richmond, Merit Scardino, and Ava Coleman. And
that's a banger. That's a good one.
Really good. Great.
It didn't get any song nominations last year, which was very sad. So I don't know what to do this year.
Hopefully, I mean, like it's the same problem. It's like, are people watching it? Who's watching it? That kind of thing.
So it was a fun season. And now they're on tour. Hopefully, if there's a season 3.
The other songs that could be here, Phoebe Bridgers for
your fave,
Conversations with Friends, Bad Texts. I thought that could get in. And I was thinking, actually, there's a couple of Euphoria possibilities.
Yeah.
Which I think one of those could get in. Elliot's song seemingly is like a decent one from the finale. Then also I'm Tired, which is a Rue song. I was wondering when we were talking about directing, I actually didn't bring this up, but can Sam Levinson get in? Euphoria only submitted one for directing with Sam Levinson. It's the 5th episode, which is a very Rue-centric episode that plays like a darker, even darker version of Good Time, I would argue. It's like his Safdie brothers movie. I don't think it'll get in because I don't think it's I think it's too cool, but it's not a bad pick.
No, I think strategically he made the correct choice.
Yes.
But I don't think it's getting in.
And we started with After Party, Joyce. Let's end there. Do you think 2 shots will get in?
I hope so.
You only get 1 shot.
I don't even know how many slots there are in music and lyrics. I haven't counted.
Well, the ballot is 99 deep, 99 pages deep.
Well, that's all the music categories, though.
But still, it's a lot of music.
A lot of music. I think last year had 6, maybe. I don't know. So I think Hawkeye will get in. There's like that This Is Us song written by Mandy Moore's husband.
Yep.
Taylor Dolls. I think that can get in. I think Euphoria. Will Euphoria get 1 or 2?
I think just 1. I think it'll just get Elliot's song because it's more memorable, even though it's not Zendaya singing.
So that's 3. I think Maisel has a song.
Yeah.
So Maisel. Do you think any Schmigadoon song can get in?
I don't know.
So you're going to choose After Party over Schmigadoon?
Yes. It's more memorable. No offense to Schmigadoon, but I just think like After Party is like listenable beyond the show.
Yeah. So wait, was that 5?
Yeah.
Like I think there's like enough room for it to get something.
Right. I mean, I'll be holding out for BPE though.
I know. I mean, if Girls 5 Eva can't get a song nomination for the 2nd year in a row,
what are we doing here?
I don't know.
Guys, come on. If you're watching
also,
this
SNL, remember when we did our music episode, we were talking about the Squid Game parody on SNL. They did not submit that one. So
I found one. I saw somebody put up the other day. We'll end here, but a Taxi Driver musical. Did you see that going viral? That was from like the 90s SNL.
Yes.
Just incredible.
I didn't watch it, though.
It's really good. You should actually watch the clip. It's so good. For Joker 2, which will be a musical. I can't wait to talk about that on Oscarates. We're typing in like 3 years.
Lady Gaga again. Just bring it back to House of Gucci.
Cannot wait. Lady Gaga was robbed. We'll end it there, but really, truly should have won an Oscar. New York Film Critics Circle was dead on right to give her an award. No notes on that performance. A perfect performance. Joyce, this was so much fun. We'll be back here tomorrow in our recording time, but at a future date on YouTube and our site to do the 1993 Oscars ceremony.
Work on that accent.
The defense was wrong. It's not that bad. I'll come up. I'll do it good. I used to do the whole thing. I don't need this.
You need to do the whole thing then tomorrow.
Lisa, I don't need this. I got a judge who's aching to throw me in jail. An idiot who wants to fight me for $200. I don't even. That's not even a Pesci impression. Joyce, I'll work on it. We'll talk.
It's too late. It's too late.
Goodbye.